In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to actually build muscle. I know it can be very confusing, there's a lot of bullshit online. And it can be really frustrating to try for a long period of time and see little to no results. So in terms of building muscle, there's only three main things. It's a very simple process, not very complex. It's very simple, okay? It's not easy, but it's simple. There's three main things. The first thing is how you're training. You have to train each muscle group properly, all right? This could be with any split. There's a lot of different splits you could do. You can do like an upper-lower split. You do like an Arnold split. You can do like chest and back, arms and shoulders, legs and abs. There's a lot of different splits you could do, but the main focal point is you want to try and hit each muscle group at least 2 times a week. All right, give it around 72 hours in between each rest so they have a full time to recover and you can stimulate them again. So now it just comes down to how you're actually doing the exercises when you're hitting each muscle group. All right, so you want to apply progressive overload. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just challenging the muscle more every week. So you can do more weight or try and do more reps of a specific weight. The bottom line is you're not trying to stay at the same point. You want to challenge the muscle so that it's ready for a bigger load and it induces growth. All right, so that's all you got to keep in mind. Try and do more every week. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is obviously proper technique and proper form. Not only to prevent injury, but to make sure you're stimulating the muscle fibers properly and seeing that growth, all right? And the last thing with training is like, dude, just go fucking hard in the gym, man. Just don't half-ass it. Go to failure as much as you can. You know, you might be fatigued or whatever. Try to go to failure as much as you can. You know, do bicep curls until you're like, damn, I felt that. You know, I feel it in my arms. You know, if you feel it, 9 times out of 10, you stimulated the muscle group properly and you're stimulating growth, which is the most important part. So your training is on point, right? Now, second thing you need to build muscle is a diet that supports your training. When it comes to your diet, there are 2 main factors that are actually gonna help you build muscle: your protein intake and your calorie intake. Your body needs the amino acids in protein to actually build the muscle. All right, so you wanna get at least 1 gram per pound you weigh. All right, that could fluctuate a little bit. You know, if you weigh like 300 pounds, you don't need 300 grams of protein because it's not lean mass. But general rule of thumb, at least 1 gram of protein per pound, all right? You know, we can go into why or, you know, high quality versions of protein or amino acids. It doesn't matter. Bottom line, get that much grams of protein in the day. If you want to know, you know, what sources are better than others, we can do that in another video. All right, but keep that in mind. Now, ideally, you want to spread them out throughout the day. You know, let's just say you're getting in 160 grams of protein. It would be ideal to do like 40 grams every 4 hours or so, right? You know, it's not 100% necessary, but it will help. Bottom line, get your damn protein in. Now, calories. You can't actually build significant muscle mass without being in a surplus. A lot of people don't know that. So you want to aim for around 250 to 500 calorie surplus. All right, this is to prevent, you know, too much fat gain and not enough muscle gain. You know, shoot anywhere between 250 to 500. So now your training is on point and your diet is on point to support that. Now you need sleep. I'm sure you already know the benefits of sleeping, like sleeping is good for you. You know, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I don't want to sound like a buzzkill though, but sleep is a period of time in which you do undergo like the most growth, okay? So you want to make sure you're sleeping enough. How much should you sleep? You know, it depends on the person, but typically you don't want to deviate anything other than 7 to 9 hours. You know, typically 8, but you know, anything under 7 is usually not enough. And finally, all 3 of those things, your training, your diet, and your sleep, it all means nothing without consistency. And I know, you know, like you've heard that a million times. If you're not consistent with the diet, with your calorie deficit or your calorie surplus or your protein intake, you're not consistent with it, you're not going to see results. That's just the fact. If you're not consistent with training, if you only train 1 week out of the month, you're not going to see results. If you sleep good one day and then sleep like shit the rest of the week, you're not going to get the benefits. So consistency is key. None of this means anything if you're not consistent. Doing it every single day or every single week, every single month. All in all, this is the blueprint. This is the reality of the situation. You gotta train properly, have a diet that supports your training, and then sleep, all right, recover. And that's it. I mean, yeah, you could toy around with supplements or, you know, the intricacies of how you're actually doing it to fully optimize it. But this is the bottom line. This is what needs to get done. It's the foundation. If you're not doing this, you're not seeing results. So I hope this helped clear things up a bit. Like, this is how to build muscle. You know, if you were confused, a little bit frustrated, don't worry, man. You know, take it 1 step at a time, take it 1 day at a time, and stay consistent.